Good morning to all and welcome to this session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Before we go to the actual session, give me a second. Before we go to the actual session, I would like to talk about the enrichment part. What are you going to learn today from this session? You're going to learn about 7 to 8 words, and some of these words are very familiar. Not too many words from this editorial. It's all about what is happening in the field of IT, information technology, especially what is going on with the big players like Google and Apple. Now, what are the words you can learn today from this session? Monopolize, that goes with economy. Dubbed, it has two different meanings. One meaning in this context, the other meaning goes with film industry. Emulate, it's an important word. Exorbitant, an important word. Ubiquitous, that is also an important word. And today you're going to work on error location. Phrase replacement. In place of phrase replacement, I have brought new questions. And 2018 or 2019, they asked questions like these. They are different, and you will be taken aback. I'm sure about that. Quite interesting, not very challenging. Now let us go to, and as usual, you are going to work on the editorial words. Let us go to the actual editorial and see what is there to learn from this editorial, knowledge point of view as well as language proficiency point of view. How does it start? Making them pay. Making them pay means what? Making someone pay. Who are those and what are those companies? You should have an idea. What is the main idea of this editorial? A law to regulate app store operators is key to check big tech's monopolizing nature. I hope everything is all right. Audio, video. I want one of you to respond. Audio, video, is everything fine? Please say yes or no. A law to regulate app store operators. So it's all about app store operators like Google and iPhone. And there is a problem with these companies, major players. What has to be done regarding that? The editorial talks about it. And the main idea of the editorial, a law to regulate app store operators is key to check big tech's monopolizing nature. Here, big tech means big tech companies and their monopolizing nature. Thank you very much. There's one important word over here, monopolizing, monopolize, monopoly. This word goes with economy. What does it mean? Obtain exclusive possession or control of a trade, commodity, or service or a product. If you take today, it is a dynamic market, but in the past, it was not like that. One particular company would monopolize. Means what? If you take a particular product like a soap or toothpaste or something else, one company it had the major share. One particular company had the lion's share. Means what? The major share, and in a way monopolizing the market. Now it's a free market. It doesn't happen usually, but this talks about something like that happening, and it has to be stopped. No competitor. That is right. Who is this? Shalini. Yes. A law to regulate app store operators is key to check big tech's monopolizing nature. South Korea's newest legislation, dubbed the anti Google law, is something that Indian lawmakers should consider emulating. Again, there are two important words over here. One is dubbed. You all must be knowing the word dub goes with film industry, dubbing. Someone does the dubbing for a particular actor or actress. But in this context, it has a different meaning altogether. What does it mean? Dubbed means given of unofficial name or nickname to. Something has a name, to that particular name, to that particular thing, you give an unofficial name or a nickname that is known as dubbed. Now, in this context, South Korea's newest legislation that is official, and what is the unofficial name dubbed the anti-Google law? What is the unofficial name given to South Korea's newest legislation? Anti-Google law. When you come across the prefix ANTI and also ANTE, you got to recollect the difference between these two prefixes. ANTE means before, antenatal, anti something, before something. And ANTI, anti means against. So anti Google law, dubbed the anti Google law. But what is official name? South Korea's newest legislation. is something that Indian lawmakers should consider emulating. Emulate, one of the meanings, imitate. What is the other meaning? Match or surpass a person or achievement, typically by imitation. But generally, we say emulate, the meaning is imitate. The word imitate has got two different connotations. Usually, we talk about copy, ape, imitate. They have negative connotations. Don't ape someone, don't imitate someone, don't copy someone. Someone copies, we say copycat. There's one idiomatic expression, copycat. He is a copycat, she is a copycat. But here, emulate also means imitate. It has a positive connotation. When you try to follow a person who can be taken as a role model, definitely that is something positive. And then we use the word emulate. So the editorial says we have to take South Korea's law against anti-Google law, against the big players, as something that has to be emulated. Then it presents the background information. Last week, its parliament, South Korea's parliament, an amendment to its Telecommunications Business Act with the aim of preventing app store operators such as Google and Apple from forcing app developers to use their in store payment systems for which they charge exorbitantly. Now, what exactly is the problem over here? If you look at the app store players, operators, we have two major players. One is Apple, the other one is Google. And these two players, app store operators, they have app developers providing the services on the same platform. When it comes to these app developers, all these days they were forced to use, today also they're forced to use the payment systems of the app store operators like Google and Apple. Now, some app developers, they started their own payment systems, which these companies have started opposing. So it's a problem between the app store operators and the app developers. Last week, its parliament passed an amendment to its Telecommunication Business Act with the aim of preventing app store operators such as Google and Apple from forcing app developers to use their in-store payment systems. Once you force the app developers to use in-store payment systems, in a way it is monopolizing, for which they charge exorbitantly. There are two problems again over here. One is forcing app developers to use in-store payment systems. That means there's no choice. It's like Hobson's choice. And the other one, at simultaneously, they charge these app developers exorbitantly. And there is one word, exorbitant, means what? It goes with pricing, unreasonably priced, extremely high. But we use the word unreasonably. Something is unreasonably priced, we use exorbitant. Imagine you go to a star hotel, usually a cup of tea or cup of coffee, it costs about 10 rupees or 20 rupees. A big restaurant, 30, 40, 50. But you go to a star hotel, it costs 500 or 600. Then we use the expression exorbitant. The new law is also a check on the unfair use of market position. So this law deals with two things. One is the store operators, app store operators, trying to monopolize, trying to force the app developers to use their in-store payment systems, which are exorbitant, and also in a way it can check on the unfair use of market position. Today, these two companies, Google and Apple, they are at the top. They have the market advantage. Because of that market advantage, you try to exploit others. That is not fair, it comes under unfair. So the new law is also a check on the unfair use of market position. With the digital commerce becoming ubiquitous, there's one important word over here. Ubiquitous means, yes, you're right, omnipresent or present everywhere. Something is present everywhere. We use ubiquitous. Today, e-commerce, digital commerce becoming ubiquitous, and with the Googles and Apples controlling this experience to their platforms, it has become imperative for government laws to regulate them. Now, what is happening? The new trend. It started long way back in 80s, 90s, and now it is like the in thing. In thing means very popular. Online shopping, digital commerce, e-commerce, ubiquitous everywhere. People got used to these platforms, and with the Googles and Apples controlling this experience through their platforms, how do people experience? What are the who are the key players? Apples and Googles, actually, Apple, Google, through their platforms. It has become imperative. Imperative, you got this word many a time. What does it mean? Crucial or vital. It has become imperative for government laws to regulate them. At this stage, they have to be controlled, they have to be checked, there should be some sort of check, and they have to make sure everything is fair in the game. South Korea happens to be the first off the block, on the block, of the block, on the track, of the track. All these days, the companies, the countries have been going on a particular track, and they are part of one particular block. Now, South Korea happens to be the first off the block to come out and do something new. But a lot of other jurisdictions are not far behind. There's one important word, a legal term, jurisdictions. One meaning of that, the official power to make legal decisions and judgments. That is one meaning. Jurisdiction also means the area that comes under someone's power or authority. Jurisdiction. When it comes to the district collector, we use the expression, what is his jurisdiction? Means what is the area he can control. Then it talks about other countries, what is happening over there. Australia, which only recently brought in a law to make internet platforms pay media companies for displaying their content, is now reportedly thinking of bringing digital payment services such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and WeChat Pay under its regulatory ambit. Now, this talks about two dimensions. One is the app stores, big companies like Google. This has been there for quite some time. I think we did one article, and it became a major issue in the European continent. Big players like Google, Apple, they have a lot of companies displaying their advertisements, but they don't pay those companies for the ads. Now it says the regulation, there should be some sort of regulation where the companies get paid from these big players like Google and Apple. Australia, which only recently brought in a law to make internet platforms pay media companies for displaying their content. Content, not ads, content. The digital companies or media companies display the content. For that, the big players have to pay money. He is now reportedly thinking of bringing digital payment services such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and WeChat Pay under its regulatory ambit. So they want to control this particular dimension as well, besides the payment to media companies. The European Union's draft law seeks to make these large platform companies gatekeepers, as it refers to them, comply with a set of do's and don'ts that gives the smaller companies a fair chance. It's all about the big companies on the one hand and small companies on the other hand. When it results in monopoly or the big companies try to regulate or control the entire market, obviously it is not fair, and the small companies don't stand a chance to compete or to survive. Keeping that in mind, the European Union's draft law seeks to make these large platform companies gatekeepers. Large platform companies, they are called gatekeepers, as it refers to them. Comply with, that's an important expression we have got many a time. Comply with means what? Follow. A set of do's and don'ts, important expression, that gives the smaller companies a fair chance. Here, it's all about a fair game in the field of business. The EU proposal is also centered around customers having more choice. Now, customers don't have the choice. They want to focus on that particular dimension so that customers have more choice. But that is not all. Now, it gives the example of the US. In the US, last month, three senators brought in a bill much along the same lines. It started with South Korea, then the editorial talked about what is happening in Australia. Now it has come to the US. In the US last month, three senators brought in a bill much along the same lines, more or less similar ideas, introduced by Democrats Richard Blumenthal, Amy Klobuchar, and Republican Marsha Blackburn. It aims to promote competition and reduce gatekeeper power in the app economy, increase choice, improve quality, and reduce cost for consumers. So many dimensions are going to be touched. Promote competition, one thing. No competition, it is not a fair game. And reduce gatekeeper power in the app economy. Now, this editorial, it talks about app stores, major players, app economy. It's a separate field altogether. So reduce the power of gatekeeper. Already have the editorial talks about big companies like Google, Apple. They are known as gatekeepers. European Union refers to these companies, uses the term gatekeepers. Their power should be reduced in the app economy, increase choice for the customers from the customer's point of view and app developers' point of view, improve quality, and reduce cost for consumers. All this is happening in the backdrop of the pending verdict in the well known case in which Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, sued Apple on this very issue. Why all this? Why is this happening? Again, the editorial provides a background information. All this is happening in the background of the pending verdict. Verdict means judgment. In the well known case in which Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, sued Apple on this very issue. So, one particular company, Fortnite, the Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, filed a case against Apple on this very issue, on this particular issue. The legal move was triggered after Apple ousted Epic from its platform. So, what was the problem? The legal move was triggered. Why did they file a case, Epic Games? The legal move was triggered after Apple ousted Epic from its platform, means removed Epic from its platform for putting up its own payment system bypassing Apple's. Now, Apple has its own payment system. Epic Games has come up with its own payment system. Bypassing, that means ignoring Apple's payment system. This particular company, Epic Games, it put up its own payment system. Based on that, Apple company ousted Epic Games from the platform. And based on that, again, Epic Games filed a case against Apple. The App Store operators are clearly on the back foot the world over. This sentence talks about what is the position of these big players right now in the present scenario, Europe or Australia or the US, Apple and Google, they are on the back foot. Means they are not aggressive, they are not ready to attack. They went back one step back on the back foot and they're just watching. In India too, the angst of app developers has been evident in recent times. There's one important word we have got for the first time. Angst means a feeling of extreme anxiety and unhappiness. India also, now it comes to India. It starts with South Korea, then Australia, then the US, now India. In India too, the angst of app developers has been evident in recent times. According to a report, Apple is facing an antitrust challenge in India from a Rajasthan based non-profit called Together We Fight Society on this issue. So in India also there's a problem. Apple is facing a problem. And what is the problem over here in our country? Apple is facing an antitrust against trust challenge in India from a Rajasthan based non-profit organization. Together we fight society on this issue. On the same issue, they must have filed a case. There's a problem. It remains to be seen, an important expression. It means what? We have to wait and watch. It remains to be seen if the regulator, the Competition Commission of India, what is a regulator in our country? The Competition Commission of India orders an investigation. So we have to wait. It remains to be seen if the regulator, that is the Competition Commission of India, orders an investigation into this particular issue. Last year, it started investigations into similar allegations against Google. Now, this talks about last year what happened. Similar allegations against Google. They started investigations into similar allegations against Google. Allegation to say something has done something wrong without proof. You can also think of the word accusation, synonym. A law to regulate app store operators is not a drastic departure from this government's thinking on such issues. Now, the idea of regulating, a law to regulate app store operators is not a drastic departure. Drastic means severe. It is not a drastic departure from this government's thinking on such issues. But that means what? This government also more or less thinking on the same lines. Only recently it promoted the setting up of the open network for digital commerce to democratize e-commerce and to provide alternatives to proprietary e-commerce sites. So what is the step in that direction? Only recently it promoted the setting up of the open network for digital commerce. What is this open network for digital commerce? What is the objective? To democratize e-commerce business and to provide alternatives to proprietary e-commerce sites. They should also survive. How does the editorial end? The challenge, however, is to protect the smaller sellers and developers without undermining the ecosystem for technological innovation. This is a bit delicate situation. On the one hand, they have to protect the interests of the smaller players. On the other hand, they should not disturb the ecosystem of when it comes to technological innovation. The editorial ends on that particular note. The challenge, what is the challenge over here? It is to protect the smaller sellers and developers without undermining. There's one important word, though we have got many a time. Undermine, lessen the effectiveness or power or ability of something gradually or insidiously. We can also think of a simple word like weaken, to make something weak, undermining the ecosystem for technological innovation. Now, you restrict a particular organization, obviously, it cannot come up with innovative ideas, and innovation takes a back seat. That should never happen. They have to protect the smaller players on the one hand. On the other hand, they should take care the ecosystem doesn't get disturbed and technological innovation is not weakened. So this is all about the editorial, an interesting editorial. And do remember, exam point of view, this is very important. Science and technology, internet, information technology, artificial intelligence, automation, machine learning, e-commerce. These are all the buzz topics. Buzz topics means they're in the limelight. 5 years down the line, they are important, and you got to have all the information related to these topics at your fingertips. The lexical terms, the related combinations, the phrases, the idioms that go with these topics, then you're ready for the exam. Let us go to the questions based on possible questions based on this editorial comprehension point of view. As usual, the first question: what is this editorial about? What is something that Indian lawmakers should consider emulating? What is the key word over here? Emulating. What is something that Indian lawmakers should consider emulating? What is becoming ubiquitous? Very easy to answer many of these questions based on the key words. What is also centered around customers having more choice? Something is centered around customers having more choice. What is that? Keywords centers around customers having more choice. Today we use expressions like customer centric, service centric. These terms are very important. And you all know there's a popular expression, customer is the king. Today, all the businesses, they want to follow that maxim. In the context of the editorial, what has been evident in recent times? What are the key words over here? In the context of the editorial, means based on this particular context, what has been evident in recent times? Something has been quite evident. The question says, what is it? Again, easy to answer based on the key words. Now let us go to error location, read the sentences and try to spot the errors. Excuse me. Not exactly anti-Google, it is against the big players, Google, Apple, two companies the editorial talks about. Yes, it is about monopoly of Google and Apple on a particular digital platform, e-commerce platform. Yes. Please read sentence number one and try to spot the error. The Taliban on Monday claimed total control over Afghanistan, saying they have won the key battle for the Panjshir Valley, the last remaining holdout of resistance against their rule. No, no, nothing wrong with further Panchshir Valley, battle for, nothing wrong. You don't have to use the word that. Third part, what is it? No one has got it right, a bit surprising. Whenever you come across words like said, claimed, stated, indicated, asked, ordered, reported, requested, you have to think of indirect speech. And here the Taliban on Monday claimed total control over Afghanistan, saying, another clue for you, saying what? They have won the key battle. Here, they have won is not correct. It should be in past perfect. They had, they must have said, we have won the battle. But that changes to present perfect, changes to past perfect. Saying that is understood. It is not essential. The word that is not essential. Saying they had won the key battle. A bit surprising. It is related to indirect speech. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Present perfect changes to what? Past perfect. The question is about that. Please go to question number 2. The number of people symptomatic for Nipah virus infection rose to 11 on Monday, a day after Mohammed Hassim 12 of Pajur near Chatamangalam in Kozhikode district of Kerala died with the viral infection at a private hospital here. Again, a lengthy sentence, but easy to answer. Nothing wrong with rose to. Infection rose to. Nothing wrong. No, 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 no. Rise, rose, risen. Nothing wrong. Nagamani has got it right. Here, died with is not correct. We cannot use a preposition. After that, I see Arvind, Shalini, Nayak, Uday Kumar. Yes, they have got it right. Died of. We cannot say died with. Die of. Due to also can be used, but here usually we use of. Died of. Please go to sentence number 3. Read the sentence carefully. Question number 2 is over. Now question number 3. No one has responded. Has been arrested. No. On Monday, that goes into past. We cannot use present perfect. Yes. A church pastor. It is in passive voice by the police. Then past tense, passive voice, one word is missing. They arrested him, active voice. He was arrested by them, passive voice. Was arrested, that is correct. So this question is about what? Past tense, one thing, and not active voice, passive voice. Passive voice. Past tense, passive voice. Was arrested. Otherwise, no problem. Nothing wrong with repeatedly sexually assaulting. Nothing wrong. This sentence, the reason for bringing this sentence repeatedly, many students may think repeatedly, sexually. Can we use two adverbs? Nothing wrong with that. Repeatedly, sexually assaulting. Nothing wrong. The error is in the first part. Was arrested. Please go to question number 4. Requirements at rehabilitation camps and steps to be taken. If any disease or its outbreak is reported, were discussed at the meeting. Where is the error? At a time. We are with question number 4. Yes, here it's quite obvious. This is not correct. What is the reason? When it comes to possessive pronouns, there is one rule. What is that rule? We should not use the apostrophe with possessive pronouns. It's a common error. When it comes to letter writing, what is a common error? A lot of people write close the letter, yours truly, yours sincerely. But this is wrong. Why is it wrong? Possessive pronouns, they never take an apostrophe. We should not use an apostrophe with possessive pronouns. So, what is the correct way to write yours truly? This is correct. An easy one based on a rule. Larva of dengue mosquito is becoming more pervasive in certain areas of the city where fresh infections have surfaced. You can use an apostrophe if you use it for the short form. It is, it has, but here possession we cannot use. Possession we cannot use. Question number 5, where is the error? Okay, sir. Please go to question number 5. No error. Who is this? Raghu, first one to say. Wonderful. I appreciate that. There is no error. Absolutely no problem. Something is becoming larva singular. Nothing wrong. We have to use a singular form of a particular mosquito. Is becoming more pervasive where in certain areas of the city, again, that city where fresh infections have surfaced. No error. Very good. It is not easy to choose the fifth option. You got to be confident. You got to be a little bold. Only then you can go for the fifth option. Now, listen very carefully. These are like new patterns. Way back in 2018 or 2019, a few questions like you're going to see 5 questions they asked. There's every possibility for repetition. 3 out of 5. That is good enough. Three, four, five, be happy. First, you look at the sentence, you see some words in red, and look at the instruction change to passive voice. Have surface. No, here surface is a verb. It is in present perfect. You cannot, you have to use a verb in the past participle form. Who is this? Shiva Krishna. Have surface. It is grammatically wrong. Have surfaced. Here, surface is not a noun, it's a verb. It's a regular verb. And because the expression is in present perfect, we have to use a verb in the past participle form. 4 out of 5 is pretty good, Prithviraj here, and 3 many students. That's wonderful. Balu Nayak, Uday Kumar, 4, wonderful. Now, please go to the next one. New patterns, first question. You see intermittent spells of heavy rain pounded many parts of the district. That part you have to change to passive voice. What is the passive voice of this part in red? Answer my question. What is the subject here? Hope you guys are working on question number 1, new patterns. No response. No problem, nothing to worry. Here, the subject, whenever you try to work on active voice, passive voice, first and foremost, you have to know the subject. Intermittent spells of heavy rain. All these words, subject. Intermittent spells of heavy rain. That's a phrase. Pounded verb. Pounded many parts of the district. Object. Now you have to start with many parts of the district. Was pounded or were pounded? Many parts of the district a phrase, but subject many parts. Then will you say was pounded or were pounded? Were pounded by what? Intermittent spells of heavy rain. No, 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 no. Prithviraja, you have to start with many parts of the district. Here, this becomes a subject. Many parts of the district. What is the subject here? Many parts, plural. Then we have to say were pounded by intermittent spells of heavy rain. Many parts of the district were pounded by intermittent spells of heavy rain. That's right. Which tense is that? Which tense is that? Look at the next one. Each one you have to look at the instruction. The heavy downpour in the wee hours of the day resulted in water stagnation at the railway underbridge in Kottagudem town, bringing vehicular movement at the busy stretch of the main road to a halt. Past tense passive voice. Very good. Perfect. You're right. Now you understand the pattern. Yes. Very simple. When it comes to active voice, passive voice, first you should have the ability to identify the subject, then the verb, then the object, then the tense. Based on the tense, you have to change. This comes to the subject position and verb in passive form, and this comes to the object position. As simple as that. Early hours. So, what is the meaning of that? Early hours. And when it comes to early hours, before sunrise is one word. What is it? Dawn. After sunset, still bright enough you can see, but not too dark. What is the word? Dusk. And there is a standard expression, dawn to dusk. Early hours. Very good. Perfect. You guys got it right. Now go to the next one. Here you have to read the sentence and identify the parallel expression in the sentence. Oh, Madhav has come up with the time slot 12 midnight to 3 a.m. Early hours, that's right. Dawn to dusk, a standard phrase. Dawn to dusk. He works like a bull, dawn to dusk. Before sunrise, after sunset. Please go to the next one. You don't see the words in red, but you have to read the sentence. Identify the parallel expression in this sentence. Which part has a parallel expression? Nagamani is the first one to respond. From prison comes at a time when the unity government in Tripoli is trying to disarm militias, mobilize state institutions, and organize elections to end the ongoing conflict. This part is parallel expression. Disarm, that is a verb, and mobilize is a verb, organize is a verb. Is trying to do something. All the verbs are in the basic form with to, present infinitive. Mobilize, no, first you have to start with disarm. Disarm also you have to consider. Trying to disarm, mobilize, organize. That is parallel expression. Now please go to question number 4. This sentence is all about journalism. Based on that, journalism. In India, the discipline of journalism education was introduced by British activist Annie Besant in the 1920s when she launched a course on journalism at the National University at Adyar, Madras. Quite interesting. Thank you very much. Who is this? Uday Kumar. Look at this one. Based on this context, write the meanings of three words are part of this context journalism. Write the meanings of these three words. Yes, yes, Raghu. To is applicable to other verbs as well. That's a very good question, Raghu. My answer is yes. To organize and all. All the three verbs, it's understood. They take the preposition to. Here, scribe handicapped person. No, no. Yellow. First, let us take the first one. Yellow journalism means what? Thank you, Gangadhar Reddy. Yellow journalism means sensational, writing about sensational, presenting sensational news, not serious news, not serious stuff, sensational about persons, about incidents blowing out of proportion. That is known as yellow journalism. Today we come across yellow journalism. Yes, in a way, fake journalism, not serious. Scribe means reporter. Scribe means what? Reporter. And what is the other name for press and media? We use the expression fourth estate, the fourth estate. Scribe has many meanings. Scribe who helps in writing. But in this context, what is it? Nagamaleshwari and others, they have written every word has two or three meanings. But here we are focused on based on the context. What is the context? Journalism. That's why I have underlined. The sentence, the context is about journalism. Based on that context, yellow journalism, writing about sensational news, fake news, substandard news, third rate news, that is known as yellow journalism. Scribe, a reporter. And what is the other name for press and media? The fourth estate, press and media. The last one, 2018, they gave five questions. They gave sentences in affirmative form. They wanted the candidates to change those sentences to interrogative form. It hopes to increase to 8 crore farmers. That should be changed to interrogative form. Yes, who is this? Sai Arvind. Wonderful. You have written all the three and you will be able to remember. Yes, yes, of course. Sai Harini. Name of a person. That's a very good question. I will let you know tomorrow. Does it hopes to is not correct. It hopes to increase to 8 crore farmers. First, which tense is this? You have to always ask yourself, which tense is this? Once you know that, you can change within no time. It is present tense. It hopes to. Here, the subject is third person singular, present tense affirmative. Then, because the subject is third person singular, we should add S or ES to the verb. Hope takes the letter S. It hopes to. How do you change it to interrogative? Does it hope to? Does it hope to increase? Other words follow. Does it hope to increase to 8 crore farmers? Simple present, present tense. This is not easy. Go to para jumble, quite challenging. The reason being, and, and, and. There are three parts which begin with and. No, no, you don't have to change the subject. It hopes. Does it hope? No need to change the subject. How can we use YouTube tutor? We cannot do that way. We decide the tenses based on the helping verbs and the main verb, not based on the words in the sentence. Hope It talks about future. It doesn't mean that you can call it future tense. It is not that way when it comes to English grammar. Based on the main verb, I have a hope, present. I had a hope, past. I will have a hope, future. How do I say that? Not based on the word hope, based on the other words, helping verbs, main verbs. I have what? A hope. Here, hope is a noun. It has nothing to do with the tense. Who is that YouTube tutor? I hope you got the answer. Thank you very much, Mohan Subhash. Now, para jumble, so many students have responded. They say answer is first one is B. No, no. B is not the first one. You guys have the same wavelength. B is not the first one. B is not the first one. Who is this? Nagamani, first one to get it right. After that, Shalini. This is the first one. A. The crisis caused by the novel coronavirus pandemic in the country. That is a clue for the second one. A is the first one in the country and at global levels. Very good. Who is that? Again, Nagamani. Second one, she got it right. In the country and at global level. National, international. So, what is the second one? These two form one part. A and C, not D. AC. The crisis caused by the novel coronavirus pandemic in the country and at global level has led to a debate about fresh thinking. Fresh thinking. What is the next one? Third one is not that easy. D. And new approaches. Global level has led to a debate about fresh thinking and new approaches to manage the economy and future of humanity. Yes. E. E cannot be used because it talks about pandemic. The crisis by the novel coronavirus pandemic in the country and at global level has led to a debate about fresh thinking and ensure a robust health system together with research and development. Then what is the fourth one? F is the fourth one. Globally, it has underscored, emphasized the need for policies to enable resilience in the economy and new approaches to manage the economy and the future of humanity. So FD form one group, FD. And what is the next one? And new approaches to manage the economy and the future of humanity. In India, various efforts are underway to enhance economic growth, but something is missing then. That is the last one. There is no continuity after that. B is the last one. A, C, E, not D. A, C, D, F, E, B. A, C, E, F, D, B. That is right. The crisis caused by novel coronavirus pandemic in the country and at global level has led to a debate about fresh thinking and new approaches to manage the economy and the future humanity. If you look at CD1 group, then globally, It has underscored the need for policies to enable resilience in the economy and ensure a robust health system together with research and development. No, they don't relate. It should be this order. Hope you guys got it. A bit challenging, not easy. Now let us go to, yes, yes, of course, it is challenging. Please go to the next one. Idioms: hit the road, drive hard, bargain, off the wagon, highways and byways, my way or the other way. To begin, major and minor roads. No, no. A4, hit the road. To begin traveling, to leave a place, to go away. Yes, I'll write here. The first one is 4. Drive a hard bargain. Drive a hard bargain. Fifth one is what? My way or the highway. That is not. Go to the. Yes. First one, hit the road. Fourth option, B. Drive a hard bargain. Negotiate forcefully. It is 1. Off the wagon. 3. Off the wagon means no longer able to abstain from a habit, usually a bad habit. No longer able to abstain, refrain. Third one is correct. C, third one. Highways and byways. Easy to make out. Highways and byways. Highways and byways means a major and minor roads. Here it is 5. What is the last one? My way or the highway? People have to do what you say, otherwise, they will have to leave or quit the project. My way or the highway means what? Like bossism. So, E, it is the second one. Have you guys, has anyone got all the 5 correct? Please answer. All the 5 idioms, has anyone got correct? Let us go to the last slide exercise, editorial vocabulary or words. Write the part of speech, the meaning. All the 5 correct. Wonderful. That's good. Monopolize, part of speech, a verb. So let us do it fast. All the 5. Wonderful. Many students have got all the 5 correct. That's good. Looks like you guys are good at idioms, effective English. Yes, exactly. Uday Kumar, my way or the highway. First one is what? Monopolize. It's a verb. I have done already. Please, wonderful. We have so many students, all the 5 correct. Be happy. Today is your day. Idioms. What is the meaning of monopolize? No one has answered. 1D. Obtain exclusive possession of something. Usually in the field of business, a particular company gets 90% of the share, the lion's share, or 99%. It is nothing but monopoly. Monopoly is not advisable. Competition should be there. Any field. Only then the best comes out. It is a verb meaning give an unofficial name to someone or something. Answer is C. 2 is C. 1 is D. 2 is C. Emulate, verb, an important word. But don't go with I is the answer, you're right. But imitate, not the negative connotation, the positive connotation. You should always remember. Emulate, imitate a good person, imitate a good thing, try to reach the same standards. Exorbitant prices, adjective. What is the meaning of the word exorbitant? Fourth one. Sai Arvind has answered. One student answers, then I will write Nagamani also and Ravi Teja, so many students. So exorbitant, unreasonably priced. F is the answer. Ubiquitous, go to the fifth one. Adjective. What is, you have to wait for some time, Gangadhar. I cannot, but I have started set Gurukul. I've started bank related sessions 9:30 to 10 set Gurukul. So what is the answer? Present everywhere. Where is it? G. Imperative. That is also adjective. What does it mean? Sixth one, no one has answered. H. Vital, crucial, essential, indispensable. All these words you have to recollect. Angst, we have got for the first time. Anxiety, that is a noun. Extreme anxiety, what is the meaning of that? Extreme anxiety. Undermine is a verb. Bring down the efficiency of something and also weaken something. Answer is J. Allegation. Allegation is a noun. Allege, verb form. Accuse, accusation. It is a synonym. What is a synonym here? Allegation, accusation. Say someone has done something wrong, but there's no proof, without proof. And what are you left with? Verdict, noun. Verdict means what? Judgment. B is the answer. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? Looks like Yakub is not here today. Usually he is the first one to say, "Sir, I got all the 10 correct." Editorial vocabulary. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? That's wonderful. That's all from me for today. Editorial analysis. Hope you guys got enriched. Have a nice day. And do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. All that you have to do. Adi has got all the 10 correct. Go to the description of the video. Click on the link Telegram group. After that, you don't have to do anything. And after the session, I'll provide the PDF. Try to work on difficult questions, important words. That will help in the long run.